This is a video specifically on how I choose factory ammunition to shoot out of my rifles. All right, everyone. So here I am at the 100-yard range, and today's video we're going to be talking about how I build up a factory load that works for any rifle. And this is just my process. It's what works for me, and I figured I'd share that with you guys. You know, I don't like to spend a whole lot of time reloading, so I like to buy, you know, box factory match ammunition and shoot it when I can out of the rifles I suspect will consume the most amount of ammo. This is a Seekins SP10 with a Nightforce 2.5 to 20 optic on top. I've got it in a Spur QD mount and an offset Trijicon red dot. What I have here is I have a Garmin chronograph. This is collecting all of my velocity data. I'm looking for extreme spreads, less than, we'll call it less than 25. And I'm looking for standard deviations near about 10. But let's just get right to shooting, and then I'll show you my process of collecting this data. So this is the Berger 130 Hybrid Tactical Open Tip Match. Okay, so that group is showing promise. Normally I just do 3-shot groups. I buy a bunch of factory ammunition. I can show that to you here. I buy a bunch of different factory ammos, and I typically start off with just shooting 3-shot groups. If it shows promise, then maybe I'll increase to 5 like I'm about to. Just gonna grab a couple more of these. And that's because this group is, it's grouping really well. It's showing good promise. So we're gonna continue with the testing. I'll send 2 more down, get a 5-shot group of that, collect a little bit more velocity data. That was very good. Let's take a look at the velocity and extreme spread numbers on that, and I'll bring you over to this table where I show you how I document each round, each bullet, each series of shots that I shoot out of this gun. All right, guys, so here we are at the table. What I am going to do here is I am going to write down the box of ammo, the information on the box that we just shot. So this is the Berger 130s Hybrid OTM Tactical. Now we're going to get a velocity, an extreme spread, and a standard deviation on that data. So we go over here, we click session summary, and it gives us all of that data. So I'm just gonna write that down for record. 27.99 average with an extreme spread of 26.7 and a standard deviation of 9.7. Now, our shot group down there was really good, like really good. For this rifle, I would call that exceptional. You know, that's what we're looking to do. That's what we're looking to get. Those are the results we're looking to find here. And it's a 130 grain. I did expect the 120 grains to do a little bit better. In the past, I've seen with, you know, 8 twist barrels, that they like the lighter bullets as opposed to, you know, the heavier 140s, 147s, and 153s. So I was assuming maybe the 120s were going to do pretty good, but they seem to have a little bit of a large grouping. The extreme spread was good. The standard deviation was also good, but the group was a little bit larger than I was expecting. You know, near about 0.8 inches. So with the Berger 130s, however, only 10 grains heavier, still what many would consider in the 6.5 Creedmoor area to be a lightweight bullet. I was getting an average velocity of 27.99 with an extreme spread of 26.7 and a standard deviation of 9.7, which is all acceptable to me. That paired with a very good group downrange, I would say definitely a contender moving forward. So the things that I'm really looking for signs of instability in a bullet, and pairing it well with a barrel and its twist rate would be signs of, you know, left-right. An unstable projectile will tend to disperse left-right more than it will up-down. Up-down is mostly something we might see in velocity changes, which, you know, a velocity change of 50 feet per second at 100 yards is something we really won't be seeing. But certainly left-right would be cause for concern to question the bullet's stability and the way it pairs well with the twist rate of the barrel. So with all of that being said, we're going to continue testing. So I'm going to be shooting the Barnes Precision Match 140 grain. Just that's worth shooting another 2. Group grew a little bit on those last 2 shots. Extreme spread of 20.9 with a standard deviation of 7. The average velocity is at 26.26. And it looks to have shot about the same group as the 130 grains. Now, I will write all of this information down on my piece of paper. Now, this is the same exact target that I'm shooting at downrange. So when I go and I can compare the groups that I've shot, I can compare them directly against this, and there's no miscommunication there. Here's something to consider when choosing between 2 really good options, right? We have a 140 grain that's shooting the same size group with a lesser standard deviation and a lesser extreme spread as my 130s, right? So when picking between the 2, we need to take into account how far are we going to be planning on shooting this, right? Because I've only got 32 mils of elevation that I can dial, and another, hold on here, I'd say 12 mils of usable holdover in my reticle. So we're talking about 44 mils of elevation. And then after this is zeroed, we've lost some. I mean, we're on a 20 MOA mount, but we're only gaining 6 mils down at that point, you know. So how much are you going to dial? A lower velocity bullet, you know, that one was 26.26, and the Berger 130s are 27.99. A lower velocity bullet is going to drop more. You're going to need to compensate for it more at distance, right? That's not a concern at 5, 6, 7, 800 yards, 1,000, right? But there are some rifles that I own that I would like to shoot out to a mile. And if that's the case, what we could be potentially running into with a slower projectile is dialing and holding, a combination of the both, at a mile. And if we're past 30 mils all in between dial and hold, there's a pretty good chance that we're gonna need to adjust more than what our system is capable of. So probably be able to get a a little bit further distance with this whole setup if we use a higher velocity. So it's things to consider. I think for the purpose of this rifle, a gas gun, you know, I'd like to hit a 2 MOA target at 1,000 yards. I'd like to be able to hit a 20-inch plate at 1,000 pretty consistently. You know, we're going to be well within the adjustment that we can make on our elevation, plus holdovers, etc. So I would be a little bit more inclined to shoot the heavier projectile at those distances, but initial testing, you know, we'd want to test that distance at 600-700 yards and see what we're grouping, how consistent the ammo really is over time. You know, these are just 5-shot groups with extreme spreads and standard deviations. You know, the number is going to be higher, but for any particular 5-shot group, you know, we might be able to crank out some pretty good numbers. So, all right, gonna walk down and check the targets now. Go over some of the data, bring it back, measure the group sizes, look at some possible contenders, and go from there. Remember, this is a video specifically on how I choose factory ammunition to shoot out of my rifles. Now, the only rifles that I shoot factory ammunition out of are really my 6.5s, anything that I think is going to get, you know, an absurdly high round count throughout the year, because, you know, frankly, I just don't have the time with the other things I have going on in my personal life to spend it on reloading just for a day at the range. So this is just my simple, quick, you know, process of here's our target, and we'll bring this back with us to go assess and leave another target up for zeroing. So, but like I was saying, this is just my quick down and dirty way that I pick a round that shoots well out of any given rifle with factory ammunition. So I might buy a box of each, you know, maybe 10 different ammos. I know I bought the Berger 130s, the Berger 140s, Berger 144s, the Berger 153.5s, the Hornady 120s, Hornady 130s, no, Hornady 140s, and the Hornady 147s. Then there's some assorted other match ammo in there, like the Barnes, and I might buy Federal Gold Medal. Of course, they use a Berger bullet, but Federal loads the ammo, so I've gotten different results out of those. Some good. They don't like to be running my gas guns. Yours could be different, but mine don't like it. But anyways, this whole process usually takes me less than an hour to figure out a good load to compete with. You know, it's not very time intensive. Maybe it costs a little bit of money by buying all these boxes up front, but guess what? I get to do this with all of my 6.5 Creedmoors and any new 6.5 Creedmoors I buy moving forward. So these ammos, I just shoot maybe a 3-shot group to see if it's promising. If it is, then I'll shoot, you know, 2 more for a 5-shot group, collect more velocity data, go from there. Usually I just shoot 3-shot groups, and then I assess, pick my favorites, kind of put them all up against each other. Whole process takes me about an hour, down and dirty. You can see, you know, the way that I organize this. The Hornady 120s are right here. You know, they shot, that's probably a 0.8 inch group. Then we have the 147s. That's probably, yeah, about the same. 130s, those shot really well. And then the Barnes Precision Match down here, those shot really well with a low extreme spread and standard deviation. Of course, it's a bit heavier of a bullet, which could be a reason why downrange I choose this over this, vice versa. We'll go into Ford Off and how we zero for different rounds without actually making adjustments to our rifle. So that's for another video. Anyways, this is my process, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna zero with the 130s, hit the long range with both the 140s and the 130s, compare them at distance, and get you guys the results. So, all right, so my buddy James joined me today at the 100-yard range. We're going to be shooting mammoth together in 2025, and this is his new chassis that he set his Remington 700 in, which was previously Bell & Carlson action. We're just determining today if this is a contender to be run at Mammoth, this whole setup. So he'll be running the 308 support caliber that's required, and I believe I'll be running a 6mm dasher. I think that's the plan. That was it. It was a quick little range session. Nothing too special, it's just my process, maybe from start to finish. I've done it enough times now, it only takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to complete, and I hope this video helps. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a great day.